Hey, this is Ginger. I'm not here for Dr. Parrish, but she's finishing up with a client, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. She'll be here any minute. Nothing. Oh, wow. Well, we just saw you guys. Hey guys, do you have any questions until Dr. Parrish gets here? Hi, she'll be here in just a moment. She's trying to finish up with the client. Ah, here she is.
Isn't it the weirdest thing?
It is weird.
It is so weird. Hey guys, oh yay, Eric, hey Eric, Alicia, yay. Eric, I have so enjoyed seeing you on Facebook. I try not to spend a lot of time on Facebook, but I wasn't kidding about how you always inspire me. I loved that drum set. Loved it. Okay guys, y'all got questions? Oh, Claire, I think you were there and it kind of already passed by. Alicia, who else did I miss? Claire, we're glad you're here. It's like up at the very top. I can barely see it. You guys got questions? Eric, I'm good. I'm really good. But see, I actually was sick. I had something that even makes the physicians feel really bad. I had shingles on the face, on the cornea. Anyway, those days are over. All I have now is post-herpetic neuralgia. So, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, the play was wonderful. Okay, guys. Eric, what's good for men's hair loss? Okay, I know that you know the answers to most of these things, so what you really mean is, what is my opinion? I know that you know these answers, and actually I've been thinking about coming to see you. You're still practicing, right? I sure hope you are. I will tell you, and I'm going to try to tell in a way that everybody doesn't know the story, but you'll probably figure it out. There was a boy that worked for me, and he had hair loss, and I wanted to give him, yay, I wanted to give him, do you still make house calls? Just decent. I'm just remembering years ago making you examine me at Sweet Basil's. Anyway, there was a kid that worked for me, and he was losing his hair. He had long hair, but he was losing his hair, and his father was bald. So I put him on this product, and it's not my first choice. It's not the one I'm wanting my staff to sell. However, I think it is the best one. It's made by Cal, and it's Cal Hair Force, I think is the name. Yes, Cal Hair Force. And his hair started growing so much that his dad started taking it too. But remember me saying his dad was bald? Well, his dad's bald head started growing these hairs on top. So anyway, I started really analyzing why that product is working. And when I tell you the why part, you're going to agree. Hey, Robin, you're going to agree, because I really think that the whole reason was the saw palmetto. Now, that is really weird, because I'm sure that you're taking saw palmetto, and I'm sure you send me all your patients for saw palmetto, because it's so good for prostate support. But I really, hey Phyllis, boy, that's a good name to see there too. I really think that the saw palmetto really does help awakening something. I don't know what that's about. You probably could tell me more technical than I can tell you. But I'm telling you that I really feel that the very best thing, hey Stephanie, I really think the very best thing is that Cal Hair Force. Now, we've got one by Sweet Basil's now that is substantially cheaper, and the Hair Force has a woman's head on it, blonde hair and all that, at least it used to. Alicia, I don't see you nearby, so I don't think you're ready to answer me. Usually she prompts me and tells me if I'm saying it wrong. Robin, look at my necklace. Robin gave me that tree. The Hair Force one, of course it has the biotin in it, and you know that's nothing but a B vitamin. And of course it has everything else that we know, all the Bs that help on hair loss. But I really think that the whole issue is that silly saw palmetto. I really do. I don't know. All I know is that's the product that works the best. I wish it weren't. I wish it was mine that works the best, but it's not. It's Cal Hair Force that works the best. Okay? Hope that answered it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so y'all got a question? Got another question, Eric? Phyllis, you got a question? Hey, Terry. Gosh, it's good to see new names on here. Y'all are making me feel good. The question had been about hair loss. Oh, another thing, Eric. This is especially true for people that have lost their hair due to chemo or something, where it's really bald, and they are able to massage something in their hair, or also women of color that wear wigs all the time, they're able to massage something into the scalp. The Emuel really seems to awaken the alopecia almost in the hair. Victoria, yay! Was that for women as well? Yes, I do believe it is. Actually, what I was saying is that the women's product, the product is actually marketed to women. But that I had a young man that took it and his hair started growing so obviously that his dad, who was bald, started taking it. His dad's kind of a well-known physician in Thomasville. And his dad started taking it and it started making hairs grow into this bald part. So he quit taking it. But yes, that would be my favorite choice. And Victoria, you know the one I'm talking about. The Cal Hair Force. That's the name of it. Used to have a picture of a woman on it, but I swear it works with men and women. Hey, Crystal, glad you joined us. You got a question for us? Was that the last question? Okay, somebody has called in about detox. I think I kind of addressed that last week. There's so many things that work on detox, and y'all know that my favorite approach to everything now is biomagnetic pairing. And if y'all haven't had a biomag in more than a year, you might want to revisit that one. Not you, Victoria, but you, Terry, and I can't remember who else. But, you know, you really should do like a tune-up, in my opinion. Tammy Faye, yay! It's so good to see your name there. You always make me smile. I think that instead of detoxing, because when people ask about a detox, they're usually asking about a colon cleanser. And the reason I like the Michaels Detox best is because it detoxifies and supports the cleansing of all 7 channels of elimination. So I don't understand why we would only detoxify one channel of elimination. So my very favorite product is the Michaels Detox, and you don't have to fast on it. You don't have to change your diet, you know, at all, really, but make sure you're drinking enough water. And it's also in little packets, and I like that. And you can't tell you're taking it, except when you think you have to go to the bathroom, you really do. But you don't have any accidents with it, and I really like it. And what people tell me is the only way, Ginger, on your way out, I saw you walk by, or thought I saw you. Would you mind handing me a Michaels Detox? Robin, does Biomag treat high blood pressure? As a matter of fact, I just had someone get off the table that had high blood pressure, and now he doesn't. I couldn't find it on him again. So absolutely, without question, Biomag can treat high blood pressure. You know I got to be careful, Robin, making any claims. And Eric, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go on my website, please, charleneparish.com. And it looks like I'm trying to sell a diet book. I'm not. Go up there and push the button about magnets. And then don't tell your physician friends. Eric is different, guys. Thank you, darling. Love you.
Love you.
Michaels. I think it's opposite on there, isn't it? Someone once told me it really did make it opposite. Y'all know I've been doing this 37 years. So when everybody says, no, I'm going to do this one and blah, 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 I'm not saying that all of them aren't good, because they are. I'm just saying this one's my favorite. This one's my favorite for a bunch of reasons. One is that it doesn't cause stress on the colon. The other is that it's all 7 channels of elimination without stress on the colon. So that's kind of a nice combination. The other issue is that it's in little packets, so it's easy to do, and that you don't have to fast. Okay? Hope that made sense. Okay. Alicia wrote me some notes. Vertigo. I tell you what, we do have a homeopathic by Newton that's good for vertigo. We do. Alicia's smelling coffee. It's just killing me. It's not killing me. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. It's not that it's killing me. It's that the smell of it is so wonderful, makes me want a cup of coffee. Yay! Victoria said, what do you think about MCT oil, and do you have it, or can you get it? The MCT oil is kind of in that category, and Victoria, you've known me well enough to know what I mean by this. It was funny, I think Robin tuned in late last week, and she sent me some information on adrenals. Oh, somebody else has called in a question on adrenals. I really think that's marketing, okay? MCT oil, we had a whole lot of MCT oil go out of date, so I attempted to take it, and of course, you know I did my research before I tried. But the MCT oil seemed to cause, it seemed to, well, I hate to use the words when I just got through saying stress my adrenals, but I could tell it made me feel like I just had 2 cups of coffee, so therefore I knew it was not okay for me. Do I understand MCT oil? Absolutely. We had to go out of date maybe 3 times. I'm unfortunately been a little bit ahead of my time, so when things go out of date, then Dr. Oz talks about it, and then we get to sell it again, okay? But Alicia, do we have MCT oil on the shelf? I think we have MCT oil on the shelf. If we don't, then yes, Victoria, we can easily get it. I've just had it go out of date so many times. I had it by Twin Lab. I had it by Now. Alicia's saying we do have it. Who's it by?
No.
And it's by Now again. Okay. So yeah, it's, ooh, okay. Yay, and it's in a glass bottle, Victoria. That matters to her. She understands. It's a big old monster bottle. But we sell it, and it's like $25, literally $25, okay? So yeah, I understand the reason for MCT, and I understand the science behind it, but I can tell you that for me personally, it seemed to be an adrenal stimulant, which was interesting to me, because I don't think it's supposed to be. Who knows? Maybe I'll try it again one day. Sorry, my phone's acting so crazy. The other thing about vertigo, okay, the first thing is that you need to know that I actually had a wonderful client that was a referral from my mentor that had been in a car accident, and her vertigo was so severe, and I'm sure if Eric's still listening, there's probably another word for that, when vertigo was actually caused by a car accident. But her vertigo was so bad that her husband was leading her by her hand, and she had on those kind of black glasses that have the sides on them also. And her vertigo was so bad that she had vomiting and nausea, and she'd had to quit her job. And with one biomag treatment, she no longer had vertigo. So I would say that I think, and she'd had it for 8 months, 9 months. So I would have to say that I think my first choice would be the magnets. But my second choice is that we do have a product by Newton. Now it's a pro product, so it's a professional line, so it's in my office. So I have to kind of write it for you. But it's called, you know, the homeopathics don't have much creativity in their names, but the name of the product is Vertigo. Okay, so okay, which is amazing. Okay, anyway, about the lady. Oh my goodness, yes. Oh my goodness, it made me cry. She was just, she went back to work. She sang my praises. Then I got to treat her husband. So it was really, really cool. I'm very, very proud of that whole, but I treated vertigo in this is weird. I should try to not say weird, but y'all of y'all are my friends and you know I'm weird. I think it was Carol Jones that said once, why don't you just eat in front of us? And I go, because I'm weird. She goes, we all know you're weird. So I got it, I got it. Y'all know I'm weird, and y'all are all my friends. That's why I won't do this live, except with my friends. But I have to tell you that the first time I treated an animal with the magnets, it was for vertigo. And the animal kept falling over like every 20 minutes, and then they didn't. Then the little puppy didn't fall over. So yeah, the magnets seem to be the best treatment. But in my experience, that every time when I treat vertigo, it's almost always something to do with the inner ear. So I understand that there's lots of science behind this and that and this and that, and there's even products that we have that are named vertigo. And like I said, the homeopathic I really like, but the magnets are what I've seen the fastest relief with. Addiction. Alicia, did someone call that in or email that in?
That was a forward from last week.
Okay, that was something that came in last week that I hadn't gotten to finish, so okay. Addiction is interesting to me, and many of you will agree with me on this. I'm sure Robin will, and Eric will, and I'm sure Victoria will, that one of the main issues, and Tammy probably will too, is the serotonin. Our low serotonin appears to be the whole issue about addiction. I know that I come from a long line of alcoholics, and I know that before I balanced my serotonin, I could cry at that drop of a hat, and I've gotten a little bit better about that. I'd gotten a lot better about it until this week. Kind of been crying for a week, but I think I'm over it now. And Robin, that's why I kept calling you, because Alicia finally said, is there anything wrong with you just crying? And I'm going, well, I kind of got a problem in it, but I keep calling Robin, but she's been busy. But I know that it's low serotonin. So I think that the best approach to addiction, and I know this sounds crazy, and I'm sorry that it sounds so simple, because I don't mean to minimalize, is that the right word? I don't mean to minimalize addiction, because there's no question about it that I'm addicted to sugar. I think it's the only thing I'm addicted to. I would be addicted to nicotine, but I haven't smoked in years. But if I did, after not smoking for 5 years, I smoked one cigarette, okay, half of one cigarette, and I bought a carton. So I understand addiction, because that's my personality. But with serotonin, it really controls it. Now, Eric, you might not know what I'm talking about. Most of the other people online right now know, but I'm talking about a homeopathic. I had a homeopathic serotonin made, and it's like radically changed our lives, okay? When I got the shingles on the face, on the cornea, and in the ear, and in the hair, and when all that was going on in my life, that's when I realized, when it went into the neuralgia, that it was also dopamine. So I now have 2 products that are homeopathic, and what that means is that if you don't need it, it won't work. And so you don't have to worry about there being a contraindication with any medication. But you do have to have an appointment with me to get that product, or you have to have somebody like Eric write it. But you don't, you can't just walk in and get serotonin. But I added dopamine to the serotonin. Dopamine, serotonin. That one I do believe is the very best thing for addiction. I really do think it's the best thing. Of course, B1 is good for alcoholism, but a plain old addiction, I think it's a serotonin issue. Okay, I got another question. Don't y'all leave me up here in this Dunkin' booth just sitting there. It's scarier when you're about to throw the ball and I'm having to figure out what you're going to say. Y'all got it made. All y'all got to do is ask the question. Sorry, my stupid phone. Do y'all think that phones are, that they have it timed where they make it stop working about the time you need a new one? Anyway. Okay. Somebody asked this again, Alicia? Okay, I even remember who asked it. It was Mary Kay from Dallas. What is the difference between ubiquinol and CoQ10? CoQ10 is ubiquinone. Ubiquinone has to be okay. What do you recommend? What do you recommend for COPD? Okay, Victoria, I'll answer that in just a second. CoQ10 is ubiquinone. It converts to ubiquinol. Okay, when you take ubiquinol, they say it's 8 times as absorbable as ubiquinone, which is the CoQ10. So in theory, the ubiquinol is what we should be taking. But I have to tell you that I've had like crazy results from, and I'm not going to call his name out, but I sure hope he's watching this after the fact, from with Parkinson's, a very famous, world-renowned cardiologist. I don't want to say more since I know some physicians are presently listening right now, and I don't want to reveal that man's name, because even though he's no longer with us, I don't want anyone to know this. But I actually not only stopped his shaking, but I gave his language back, okay? And I did CoQ10. So I've always had this like little war going on in my head. CoQ10 or ubiquinol, CoQ10 or ubiquinol. I see the reasoning behind both, and I have come to the conclusion, and a couple of people like Dr. Mercola have agreed with me, that one of each is what I take. I take one CoQ10, 100 milligram by Bluebonnet. It has to be Bluebonnet. And I take one ubiquinol by Bluebonnet. Hey, Marilyn, glad you joined us. Okay, so Victoria, your question was, what do I recommend for COPD? Okay, well, I have to be careful that I don't actually recommend for anybody else. I can just tell you what worked for me, because that would be real close to prescribing, which is real close to practicing medicine without a license. But I can tell you what worked for me, and they said, hey, Pam, gosh, I've been praying for you. Everything okay? It's real. The COPD, if I listen to them, I have acute COPD, and I'm supposed to be on 4 meds. There was a pretty well-known, what's that guy called? What's that? What is the word called? What is the word called when you're not a respiratory therapist, you're the physician. What's that person called? Pulmonary specialist or something? Pulmonary specialist. Pulmonary. I don't know the word, but y'all know what I'm saying. I went to him to find out how bad my lungs really were, and they were pretty bad. I had already been told they were pretty bad, but I guess they were a little worse than I thought. And he gave me 4 prescriptions, and I'm like, no, I really don't want a prescription. I was just trying to find out how bad my lungs really were. He said, well, you have acute advanced COPD. I'm like, okay, whatever. So he starts naming off these products that he wants me to take, gives me all these prescriptions, and I'm like, well, I really didn't want a prescription. And then, hey, Victoria, what does he say? He's called some doctor. And I didn't call his name either. I did real good at not calling his name because he was extremely rude to me. But he realized how rude he was because he came in here the next day in a baseball cap and jeans, and brought his young daughter with him and said, my colleagues tell me that you're really good at what you do. And I said to his daughter, do you mind going up to the front counter and getting me some potato chips? I told her what kind. And as soon as she walked off, I said, really? Was that your apology? He said, I'm sorry. It kind of was the best I could do. He was rude to me. Because when he said albuterol was not a steroid, of course it's one molecule off of a steroid. And he said it's an anti-inflammatory. And I went, anti-inflammatory? Why didn't I think of bromelain? And he goes, I don't know what that stuff is, but it'll kill you. And I said, pineapple will kill you? So by the time I got out of that room, his staff was at the front desk apologizing. We're sorry, Dr. Parrish, we're sorry. And about that time, I saw a commercial on the TV in the waiting room that said one of the drugs he was giving me, that one of the side effects was death. Anyway, what I did for COPD I started with the bromelain, and it's funny that I started with the bromelain, Victoria. You get that. I started with the bromelain because I knew it was an anti-inflammatory, and he was saying that this was not a steroid, this was an anti-inflammatory. Now, I would go for the recovery zymes. Victoria, you know this product. This is a proteolytic enzyme, and if you take it with food, it would gobble up your food, and that would be a really expensive digestive enzyme. But taken on an empty stomach, it gobbles up inflammation. So the same way that it would work on arthritis and other forms of inflammation is the way that it works on the lungs. So that's one thing that I did. I didn't do that. I did that for a while, maybe months, maybe 6 months. But the main thing that I did, now I've got an improvement to this, so don't stop listening yet. The main thing that I did was the children's asthma drops. I know that sounds crazy. The Newton Kids Asthma. That's what worked for me. But now I have one that's a little better, a little stronger. Hey, Dee, it's a little better and a little stronger, and it's a prescription one in my office. And, sorry, it's saying my battery's low. Alicia, it's saying my battery's low. No, there's nothing we can do about it. But how long do we have? Oh, well, so, oh no, we're fine. Don't worry about it. It won't cut off yet. It won't give a warning that we have 3 minutes.
Yes.
Is that what you said? You just, okay. Now she's holding up 3 fingers. The main thing, now I would do that bronchitis asthma, the pro-bronchitis asthma. The pro-bronchitis asthma, Victoria. I know that you can get stuff out of my office. So that's the one, pro-bronchitis asthma. And I don't do the bromelain anymore, and I don't do the recovery zymes anymore. I just use that one product. So I know that it works. And it's funny, I was just talking about that product a minute ago. I'm sorry, guys, I've done 2 biomags. I feel all sweaty and yucky. When I first started using these products, what are you saying? Set me up on the counter, recovery, and the drops in the office, please. Put it in the drive-through, okay? Alicia, can you put it in the drive-through for Victoria? Recovery zymes and bronchitis asthma. Okay. Victoria, you remember with the homeopathic how to take it? Why don't you put her a note on it? Put her a note on this one too. Mm-hmm. Anyway, back to the bronchitis asthma. When I first started taking it, well, it was actually the kids' formula then, but the bronchitis asthma is stronger. When I started taking the kids' asthma, I had one in my purse and one in my cup holder in my truck and one on my desk and one in the bathroom. The only one I still have is the one, well, I have the one in my desk, but I also have the one in my truck. And I don't ever, in the bathroom, I don't ever use them anymore because I don't need them anymore. It's so cool. It's so totally cool. And when I tried to get anybody to talk to me about COPD, they wouldn't. And I even would try to talk to, now Jack Mansberger made the statement to me when I said, well, how do you expand your lungs? He said, you expand your lungs. And I go, no, I mean like how? And he goes, you expand your lungs. And I'm like, oh, for God's sakes, you're telling me just to breathe harder? He goes, pretty much. So then I started thinking about it. What about blowing up balloons? I'm telling you, I blew up balloons and I made my mother blow up balloons. And it's so funny because everybody that would come see her, she'd say, would you like some balloons? And I'd say, Mother, if you give all those balloons away, I'm just going to buy you more. I'm telling you that blowing up balloons, doing kids' asthma, I can't see what you're saying. I'm sorry, what about it? Okay, ask me in a second, okay? How much time we got? Pardon?
It's 7.
Oh, I guess we're through. Sorry, guys. What was I saying? I'm sorry, I don't even remember what I was saying. So, say it again. Oh, yeah. Once I'd started doing the kids' asthma drops and started doing the bromelain, which now I do recovery zymes, then I didn't even have any symptoms of COPD anymore. So I don't know why they say it's not curable, because I think it is. Okay? Thank you guys for listening, and thank you for all your words of encouragement, and I really, really appreciate it. God bless you. See you next week. Oh, in Dallas. I'll be in Dallas.